all I've ever wanted is just to lead a normal life, and not only because of the illness, but because of the debt as well. That's just never going to happen. My name is Chanel, and I have mixed connective tissue disease. It's just multiple diseases of the connective tissue, which is the framework of the body. For a lot of people, there's kind of three predominant diseases. So for me, that's systemic scleroderma, systemic lupus, and polymyositis. For me, it's highly affected like my digestive system. So I'm actually on a feeding tube. I take almost nothing by mouth because it's just kind of shut everything down. I am on oxygen. It's really just kind of an all-encompassing, every part of your body just becomes affected by this connective tissue that is just kind of malfunctioning. One of the huge burdens that accompanies someone with a chronic illness is the financial burden. Having a disease such as mine that's a chronic illness that will stay with me for the rest of my life, I have a lot of medications that are kind of keeping me going, that without them I wouldn't be able to survive. I take about 17 prescription medications a day. That's just typical everyday prescriptions that I need to function. I also have to pay for all my feeding tube supplies and my oxygen supplies. Feeding tube formula is actually not covered by insurance. It's something that they consider a grocery list, so they don't actually pay for that. I actually, because of my illness, lost my career as a Montessori teacher, which was always my passion. What I got my degree in, it was my life. And actually just this year, after a recent decline, I actually had to step down, and all the financial burden of my illness fell onto my husband. And at that point, we weren't able to manage. We were getting help from family, things like GoFundMes and benevolence accounts, and we really are living off the grace of others at this point. And the amount of ridiculous hours that my husband has to work, it's just never ending. When you have a chronic illness that's incurable, you're going to start over. I mean, every year that you have to reach the deductible, you have to reach your out of pocket, and then there are things that aren't covered by insurance. There's things that I want to do even in a short life, which I can't do because of the financial burdens that I have. I was married about 4 years ago, and this illness, definitely rocked our world. We, because of the financial debt that I put us in. We can't put away money. We're never going to be able to buy a home. Me and my husband will never be able to do something like that because of this medical debt. There are certain things that, like I said, are unattainable to me right now, and without those financial burdens, there are goals and there are dreams that I want, and they're just typical things that I think a lot of people can take for granted because there's something that comes so easily to so many. But for someone like me with a chronic condition and that, for lack of a better term, chronic debt that accompanies it, my husband and I won't get to live kind of that American dream, which everybody kind of strives for, and that's really all I want out of life. I want to be able to live. With this financial debt, you can't put away money. You can't have those things that seem so natural to other people because you are buried under this insurmountable debt that it covers over your life like a cloud. It comes back, and it's just constantly the rainy season. You're never going to get out from under that, and it's hard on everybody because my financial burden doesn't just affect me, it affects my entire family and everybody around me. It will never end for me, and it will never end for my family.